Hello, I'm back in my closet, and it's still messy. I'm embarrassed to even let you see what it looks like right now. Um, we have the house is listed, like I said in the previous video, and the we're trying to keep the house viewable. So basically, what we do is if you're ever in a situation where you have to put a house up for sale, a good thing to do when you got people coming in to view the house on short notice is to get these plastic bins from Walmart. They're like $5, and just throw, when you have things just sitting out and clutter things, just throw them in the bins and kind of just stack them in the garage and things like that. And then you can easily just pull them out whenever the people leave. But it is hard keeping things clean, especially with two little girls, because they just pull out everything, and it's just like, ugh. But I'm kind of in between today. Yesterday I was down, and not necessarily because of the relationship so much as all of the things that we have to do in order to be separated. Like, I think that's the part that's hard. It's the legal things, I have to get my own insurance, going back to my own phone, the insurance for cars, just different things like that where, now it's like back on you, it's just like how things used to be when I was, living on my own single. So I guess that's the part that is making me anxious. That's the anxious part that I'm feeling, is the initial, still looking for a place, but still gotta wait for the house to sell. It's so many different things, just like boom, boom. And then we, want to sell the house before we sign the paperwork. Well, then we still got to do parenting classes as a part of the process of when you divorce. So I found some online that you can pay, and then you can just kind of do the online thing, since nobody has time to go to actual classes these days, especially with little kids and stuff. But and also people are like, it just seems so sudden. I know, it just seems so fast. And I guess on the outside looking in, it would seem like we are just like, we went from, oh, everything is cool, to we're getting divorced. And it's not like that. We've just had the cycle of just not meshing. And I mean that like on a daily, where just little things, little little things, miscommunications would happen, and and it would just blow up to something bigger than it needed to be. Like, for instance, I'll just say for this, okay, I might want to cook a roast or something, and he wants chicken to grill his chicken or whatever, and I'll say, well, I have a roast. Do you want some? We can cook. You can cook chicken tomorrow, but I already got the roast in the oven. Well, I'm so great at my chicken. And so I was like, so you're not gonna get the roast? I mean, I might eat a little bit, but you know what I mean? It's just like, so it's just things like that causes you to, it's just little things, little things that cause bigger things to occur. And when you are in a relationship, you shouldn't try to out petty the other person, and I felt like that's what we were doing. And then, if I'm having a bad day, if I have an attitude, he thinks I have an attitude, so he's gonna get an attitude. And it's childish, and you think that you wouldn't be that way, and you think you stop yourself from it, but sometimes it's just like you get so used to the same thing and you just continue in that pattern, and it's like, I feel like it just kills your soul, you know? It just pulls at your soul to a point where you can love somebody, but it's like you can love them, but at times you don't like them, you know? And then, you know, the romance goes, the butterflies. I mean, the butterflies are gonna go. I mean, that's how life is, but it's like you just start looking at them like, when you when you have that face, if that person is looking at you like this most of the time, or if they're looking at you like that, it's never good. It's not a good sign, you know. Sometimes not arguing is just as bad as arguing, you know. It's the, you know, you just resound to, you go your way, I go mine. You know, you're just two ships passing in the night, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, he would always say, you know, we're like roommates, and it would just make me so mad. I'm like, no, we're not, you know. But I don't know. It's just, it's sad, but it's like for instance, today we got in a little, it wasn't even really an argument, but it was just like kind of like disagreement, and we weren't even yelling at this point. It was just like, you know, tit for tat kind of thing. Well, Daria, like, she's just like, she'll stand in front of me. She's like, no, stop, mommy, stop, daddy. That breaks your heart, you know, because we fought so much that she's the mediator, and that a 3-year-old, you know, that's not good. She started, we potty trained her right when she turned 3 in May. She kind of start getting, and we start potty training her when she was around 2, but we really, you know, she got it once she turned 3, and she wasn't even having accidents at nighttime. Well, when the arguments really started, she started having more accidents, and not just at night, but during the day. And and then she was wanting to sleep in the room a lot. Ella was just, they're both ridiculous. I mean, they'd start crying for no reason, and just, it was just, when you start seeing these things in your kids and their behavior is changing, it's like you start looking at yourself, you start looking at your situation, and you just start saying, this isn't good, you know. This isn't the environment I want to bring my children up in, and I don't want them to see us in a relationship like that, so that when they get older and they want to get married, or they're in relationships, and I don't want them to think that's normal, you know. So, the sadness is not necessarily for the end of the relationship, even though that is sad, but the sadness is more like, there's so many things that, it's like severing, you know, things. You're like, gonna cut this in half, cut this in half, cut that in half, and it's just like, you know, it's, that part is hard, you know. You know, so it didn't just happen overnight. It was a slow, you know, process that we had been trying to deal with over the years. You know, we've been working on, we went to counseling. Heck, our counselor was like, y'all need to call it quits. When your counselor can't help you, you know, you gotta call it quits. So, you know, I know people are like, have you gone to counseling? Have y'all done this? We've done everything. It just, we didn't broadcast our relationship. So, only people who were really, really close to us. This wasn't a surprise to them. It's just people kind of on the outskirts who looking in, they'd see us and they think we were, a good looking couple. We seemed happy. We'd had fun. And we did. I mean, we're friends, but it's like, we just, whew, all in water. Those two don't mix. But, I mean, it's okay. And you know what? I actually remember my friend Sharika. Hey, Sharika. She said this to me. We actually got married around the same time. We were working out to lose weight at the sports barn at the dance class. We were trying to lose weight to get in our wedding dresses. And I remember we were sitting having lunch or something or dinner. And she's so funny. But she was saying, what's your sign? What are you guys? And I was like, I don't really believe this. But I was like, okay, I'll humor you. And I was like, well, we're both Aquariuses. I'm born January 22nd and he's February 5th. And so we're both Aquariuses. And I'm familiar, with the whole rundown of the Aquarius. And so she goes, oh no. And I was like, what do you mean, oh no? She's like, well, it could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing too. And I was like, what do you mean? She said, well, typically you guys are very passionate people, which is true, but you are very opinionated, care for people, very caring, generous, and loving, but the passion can be, she said, with couples, it can be too much to the point where when we're very stubborn and we believe that we're always right. And so when you have two people, my mom called us two bulls in a pen. When you have people like that, she was saying that it could be very volatile. It could be very good, but then it could also be very bad. And I remember her saying that, and it kind of hit me, and it just it made me really think. And I know with the signs and everything, but I was really looking more at our personalities. And we are very different. And, people were like, you guys didn't seem like you would be together. And I was like, opposites attract, But we were a lot alike in a lot of ways, in the sense of, I would say we were alike in the ways that aren't good. Does that make any sense? So, for instance, the traits that aren't the best traits, that's what we were both had in common. And I felt like, how the Bible says that they need to be your helpmeet. You're really supposed to be a help to the other. Where they're weak, you're strong. It's like you pick up where they're weak, and you pick up where the other one leaves off, and you're kind of just you're there to help one another, and not just in a sense of, helping with bills and things like that. It's more like helping you with the whole you as a person, like how to make you better. That person should help you make you better. And if you both have the same bad traits, how can you help each other? And that's I think that's the root of it, basically. I want to be able to have someone that is not stubborn and does not have a temper, that can calm me down when I need to be calmed down, and don't put fuel on the fire. Because when you have two people like that, it's never good. And it's not even just those type of personalities. I think any personalities that are similar, where that's your weakness and you both have the same weakness, you really have to work hard at it, or you know what I mean. So that's kind of where I think that's part of the problem. And I know that we've tried. You know, we've tried everything, and I think of me and my best friend, um, Michelle, and why we're best friends. And for her, she's the opposite of me, you know, and she's so sweet and loving and very forgiving, and she's not quick to anger, um, and just very kind. And so, like with me, I'm Spitfire. You know, you're not gonna push me around. You're not gonna tell me, you know, you're not gonna act like I don't exist, you know, or treat me bad. And so for me, she was good because she taught me how to be kind to people and give people a chance, you know. Um, trying to be more patient, with my temper. But then I was good for her because she needed help being more assertive. And with, we're both teachers. And so when it came to the students, you know, she learned how not to have them run all over her, And I learned how to, with other people just to, um, give people more of a chance. And so, not to put up a wall so early. So I say it all to say that in a relationship, um, I don't know what the future holds for me, but if I am to be in another relationship, I'd love for them to be able to be a helpmeet to me and help me be a better person. And so I'm going to leave it with that. And yeah, and here's the next time.